Hi, everybody.
Hey
How are you doing? How's your
everyone.
day, Mona? What's happening?
My day is good. My day is chilled. It's been an
Mm.
early morning. You know, mothering,
Mm.
just
Mm.
chilling. But it's very
Okay, there she's requesting again. Sorry. We did lose Mona. Oh,
my
there she's
bag.
back. You're back. Hi, it's technology. It will want to do the things that makes the things to be done.
Every time. But no, it's been great. It's a great day. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm relaxed.
Mm,
Did my workout. I'm feeling
mm,
good.
mm,
I'm good. Yesterday I
mm.
took a nice walk. I thought I was going to do it today. I didn't know there's a nice reserve this side. And I'm sad that you discover Manje because it's almost winter. And it's like a
No,
10-minute
even
walk.
in winter, go.
Oh, well,
Seriously, some
basidumelang.
mornings are hot. Hi,
True,
Kathleen.
true.
Some mornings are very nice and warm. You can still go. Sometimes you just put on a nice warm and you go in the
Yeah.
nippy wind. Yes.
Okay, well, true. I can even go with the blankets because I was thinking maybe I should go with my mat and just go chill there. Maybe I'll actually go later today for just a
Exactly.
nice time. But I just want to officially welcome everyone that's joining us. Ninja and guys, next time I look nice like Monyane. Today I just wanted you to see the real me. So you can see the difference. Mang Muhle. You say, oh, girl, okay, Zile today.
Ah,
But Nikezile, guys. So Mona and I are just going to chat about e-wellness. But maybe I'm gonna let Mona do an intro of herself, and then I'm going. Ah, thank you,
why must I do an intro? It's your platform, darling. I shall just
I
sit
want
here
I
and be
want you to
introduced.
define yourself the way you want us to. But I'll do a short we welcoming Mona, but I also just want you to share a bit about yourself and why you're so passionate about the topic of the power of wellness. But also
Mm.
just to introduce myself because obviously we have people from your side and people from my side joining. I am Kwezi. I'm a mental health advocate. I'm a mom. Recently left my job, living the best life. If there's anyone here that I used to work with, I love you so much. I wish you all the best in life. And this is Mona, who I met also on this journey because I worked in the mental health space. Mona's also a mom, and she's a very talented actress, public speaker, and she inspires me a lot because she's very authentic and she's very real. Sometimes she might be too honest. Sometimes I watch the videos and I'm like, yo. But then I'm like, my child, girl, tell them. So thank you so much for doing this with me. I am very excited to have this conversation. Just to let people know what we will be talking about. We're basically going to have a normal conversation about what wellness means to all of us. Are we well? How are you doing? Let's check in. And then just get into it. I have like some questions that I put aside, but I don't want to make it too formal because I want to have a conversation. And I know Mona and I can talk for hours and hours. So at 12:30, 25 past 12, I'll be like, Mona, let's
No, girl, I
let's,
gotta go get my kid from school, so
you see?
mhm,
I'm
mhm.
glad. But yeah, thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining. So maybe as first things first, hi guys, my comments by the way. Let's start with you sharing a bit about your wellness journey. What made you so passionate? What does wellness mean to you? And then we can take it from there.
Sure. Oh my gosh. I've spoken about my wellness journey on various different platforms in various different stages of my life.
Mm.
And I've had a different perspective at every single space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And right now, I want to try my best to just condense it and say, I am the voice of
Mm.
all the voiceless women within me. That's what my wellness journey has been about.
Yeah.
You know, I've had to sit down on a spiritual level and really trace back my authentic self,
Mm.
my truth, and my being, and understand it on a very deep level before everything else gets to express itself. And I
Yeah.
think we're going to get into the
Yeah.
different ways in which we express wellness. But
Mm.
right now, the core of it is that I really am just that voice. That's what wellness is. I get to express, I get to understand, and I get to really engage with
Mm.
whatever it is that I'm going through and what I'm feeling and all of that. So I am an actress. So for me, I feel like I'm called to this. I didn't choose this, honey. If I chose, but no, I'm called to this, and it's a way of us healing because we represent to the world who they are.
Mm.
But I am also a healer. And in healing myself, I get the opportunity to shine my light, and those who do receive me get to really take nuggets for themselves and, use it for their own journey. So
Mm.
that's what has inspired me to get into this journey. It was first about healing the self and rediscovering what my true voice is
Mm.
and reclaiming my own power, hence the power of wellness, right?
Mm.
It's about
Mm.
reclaiming the autonomy of a choice and then saying, when I do this, I can then shift my reality.
Yeah.
Né?
Mm.
So that's just what I am. I'm a person who heals the woman within herself,
Yeah.
and then I get onto a platform that God has given me, and then I use my voice as authentically as I can, even if it hurts. And every so often I help somebody else find their light. So that is where I'm at now in my journey, and with my
Mm.
relationship in terms of wellness is that it does start within, and then the better a job I do within myself, the more inspiration I can give others to do the same for themselves.
Yeah.
you know
Beautiful.
mm,
So for
yeah,
me, I guess, excuse
that
me,
mama.
wellness is how I how I feel when I wake up in the morning and when I go to bed. It's just taking that 2 seconds to see, do I want to get out of bed? Am I
Mm,
sleepy? Am I overthinking? Am I relaxed? What's happening in my body?
yeah.
Because whenever we talk mental health, I think especially for us Africans, Bandla, it just becomes like a distant thing. It's like, okay, minang nai mental health, please leave me out of this. I'm fine. But it's just me asking myself, am I fine? Am
Yeah.
I okay? How am I? Before someone else asks me, how are you doing? I already know, I've already asked myself, I've already checked in with myself. And I've realized that in working in the mental health space, whenever I spoke to a lot of people, and they would speak about their journey in being either therapists or being passionate about the mental health or wellness conversation, it comes from a personal experience. A lot of the time, it's people who say, I went through this and this is why I do the work. So do you think now that's where it came from? Or did you wake up one day and think, you know what, I think I like this subject and I think I'm passionate about this? Where do you think was the moment where it started?
I want to answer that immediately, but I'm going to hold it back. Let
Yeah.
me let me add to what you just said. I call it the internal narrative, right? Or the
Mm.
internal conversation.
Yeah.
It's very important for us to have a conversation with
Mm.
ourselves. And
Mm.
as Africans, ba tla re wa hlanya. Wa bua le one wa hlanya. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, I need to check in with myself. I need to stay true to myself. I need to have a higher understanding of my intuition and what it's trying to say to me about my
Mm.
physical reality. What choices am I making? Are they serving me? Are they hindering me? Are they advancing me? Are they holding me back? Right? So we have to have that be the foundation of any relationship, is the one that you have with yourself. That needs to be healthy. That needs to be a very, very healthy relationship.
Mm.
And to answer your question, I was pulled here by Tony, yo, by
By fire, by
eyebrows
force.
and eyelashes. Do you understand? Do you understand, man? I didn't come here willingly. No, I was a rebel. I wanted it my way. Do you know what I mean? No, But for
Yeah.
real, that's what it was
Yeah.
for me. I was very stubborn, and I lived a life that I was in control of in the ego. I
Mm-hmm.
knew what I wanted at this time, this way, this person, this da, 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 and I got it.
Yes.
But it wasn't what was meant for me. Do you understand?
Mm,
So
mm,
when
mm.
in my internal conversation, I came to the understanding that spiritually I needed to be grounded in something. I needed to have a higher purpose beyond how I showed up on this planet in my flesh, right? Because depending on where you are at a certain point in your life, you're restricted to how people perceive you and receive you.
Yes.
You are not, and if you don't have a greater understanding of the self, you are not actually showing up in the full capacity of your truth. So for me, in
Mm.
order to find my truth, I had to go into my spirituality. But as an African, honey, woo, my ancestors were like, girl, Togose. And I was like, Togose. Togose, Makose. Do you know what I mean? I had to go through so many different phases of understanding myself.
Yes.
And it was insane to me that the self is not limited just to what we have been told we can occupy.
Mm.
There are so many different areas of expansion, and there's so many different areas of exploration.
Mm.
But if you do not have that consistent conversation with yourself, you never know when to explore, you never know when to expand, you never know when the box is too small for you, you never know when it ain't even for you, honey.
Yes.
Okay? Now
Mm.
I understand that there were certain valleys I
And
did not
rivers.
have to venture into. Ma'am, but it's given me the wisdom and the empathy and the compassion and the knowledge that I need to
Mm.
be more of myself, and it's given me an understanding of myself, and that's where the love of wellness came.
Mm.
Is that the more I surrendered to spiritually what was calling me,
Mm.
the more I got a better understanding mentally and emotionally who I was and what my purpose was, and why am I here? What about my own personal journey of trauma, of pain, of loss, of Mihlolo Yasatan, what of that was imperative for me to become who I am in the present
Mm.
moment. And when you get to learn that, and you learn it from an objective perspective, you start to realize, wow, firstly, the world does offer answers.
Mm.
Secondly, we are more interconnected than we give ourselves credit for, according to this that we have been given, the
Mm.
hero's journey, and there's always, a one man sort of situation. But when you go into wellness, you realize we are more connected. You realize that you can learn from someone else's journey.
Mm.
You realize that just speaking your own testimony helps inspire someone else, see the light in their own darkness, and that's what I do as an actress. That's what I'm called to do as a human being, is tell our stories.
Mm.
So when I was healing, and when I was learning, and when I was growing, and I realized the greatest story I can ever tell is my own, because it represents all of me, and not
Mm.
just the me that exists now, but my mother, my grandmother, my great grandmother, my daughter, my sisters, my aunts. It represents all of me, my uncles, my grandfather, my dad, all of me.
Mm.
This my story, right? How can I own it with light? How can I own it with grace? How can I own it with gratitude?
Yeah.
Dark and the light aspects of it, in a way where I do not judge it, and in a way where I can be objective enough to understand and gain wisdom from it,
Mm.
so that when I am given the opportunity to speak about it, it's not from what is manufactured, and it's not
Mm.
coming from what I've read in a book, and it's not coming from that podcast Yoko Gai Gai. It's
Yeah.
coming from, this is what I know, this is what I've experienced, and this is what my voice is. And those who have ears will hear, right?
Mm.
Those who this message is not meant for will find the one whose truth will shift them
Yes.
into the direction they need to move. But right now, this space has taught me to own me. It's taught me to own me and my narrative.
Mm.
taught me that I am a flower in a bouquet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I'm not blossoming, give her that girl on draw the eye in a bad way. You know what I mean? So it's really made me fall in love with that because of that interconnectedness, because of how much you continue to learn, how much you continue to grow and understand about not only yourself but other people. And you gain compassion, you get empathy, you know? A beautiful space. Painful, horrifying, but beautiful.
Yeah. You know, when you spoke about the light and the darkness, I was reflecting on, obviously, I'm a mental health advocate, and I'm a mental health advocate because I realize how, I mean, we don't have time for this. And I understand you go into social media, now this life is exactly what everyone finds. You go into social media, depression this, anxiety that. Oh, Nkosi yami, can you just make it stop? You go on TikTok, there's people crying, there's a lot happening.
But I see that as a revolution of sorts.
Yes, I get that. But obviously, because you are on the other side. There's a lot of other people that are not on the other side. There's a lot of other people that look at it the way I was just talking about it now. There's a lot of people that think, I'm really not interested in this. So how do we bring people to the other side? What is it that we need to do to make it relatable and make it relevant besides crying on social media? Because even if people are crying on social media, we still laugh at them. And me is not me crazy, but I'm just representing other people that, do this. What do we do? How do we get people on the other side and have more of these relaxed chats?
Be respectful of everybody's process. Be respectful of everybody's journey and everybody's timing. Do not feel the need to slow down because you are not getting the reaction you desire. Do not underestimate the people that you impact and their impact and where that impact can impact. It's not about feeding our egos. The moment that you say, I'm a wellness ambassador, the moment that you say, I am here to make a difference in one person's life.
Yeah.
If you are here to do a maxi impact and then have a whole congregation of people worshiping you, listen, you are feeding the wrong energy source. This is not about stroking our egos. This is about telling our truth. Are you even going to show up? This is where the danger lies. Because you're not getting the maximum impact that you desire, you don't even show up at all. We are not here to chase results. We're here to show up.
Yeah.
Show up. If there's one person on your life, show up. If you are the one crying, show up. I've been criticized. Girl, I'll come here how I am and how I feel like it, ma'am. Don't nobody pay me to look good on this platform. You know what I mean?
Yes.
No, I really don't. I come here to heal. This is my blog. God said, start something. I've started it. He said, trust me and be authentic and truthful. He said, come as you are. And I said, on the ground in my reality, in my physical truth, which is where we actually exist in your body. You don't exist on social media in front of hundreds of thousands of people or millions of people. You exist in front of your family members. You exist in your room, on your chair, and your couch. That's where you exist. That's your reality. If you are not going to sit in the present moment and be truthful and honest about your true impact, you are going to be stroked left and right. Up and here. And I don't have time for that. I have survived death. I have survived loss. I have survived grief. I've survived trauma. I've survived abandonment. I've survived a darkness that knows no depth. I did not fight my way back into this light so that I can be a paper bag swinging in the wind, honey. I came here to use my voice to heal the women whose truth is mine. I don't have time. I actually do not occupy that consciousness. So at the end of the day, it is my job to speak my truth with all of me so that those who are called to hear me may hear what they are meant to hear. I am a vessel of the light that created me. So if we are going to chase stroking the ego, what is the difference between us and the commercial space?
Yeah.
What is the actual difference? Where is transformation? I really am not here to be rich and be worshipped like a demigod. There is one God. Serve or do not serve, honey. At the end of the day, transformation is what I am out for. I have a child who has to grow up in this world. I will change what I need to change as much as I can before the breath leaves my body.
Amen.
Do you understand? I
Yeah.
don't have time to be chasing the opinions of people. They are fickle. A lot of people chase what is popular. They do not chase what is truthful and what actually resonates with them. Not on a public platform, honey. They'll lurk. They won't follow you. They won't comment, but they will get what they need to from you. It is not your job to say, I want that person to say, oh, she healed me, because it wasn't you. If you can understand yourself as a healer and understand that you are a vessel and that you are not the creator, you are the created with the power to create, co-create,
Yeah.
then you let go of the ego. You let it go. You let go, let God. You flow with that river, honey. Because at the end of the day, if we want to cry about the people we thought would be impacted by us, do you understand how easily we can become egotistical about the ones we thought couldn't be impacted by us but were? Now you're going to start saying things like, I did that.
Yes.
And I humbled.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
You'll come
But
back.
you have to learn from the pain. You have to learn from the trauma. You have to learn from the darkness. Because, for me, as I said, I started with my spirituality, grounded myself in the living God. And for me, the God that I serve was like, dude, I don't judge. That ain't my business. Like, are you sorry, though? Like, can I step in? Is it going to be my will or your will? And
Hey.
so, okay, let me love you then. Do you understand? So when you allow that to happen, it does.
Surrender.
When you allow yourself to make the choice to honor yourself, your life reflects that loyalty. When you make a choice to dishonor the self, your life will reflect that disloyalty. It's a very simple truth, but it's the most difficult one to navigate when you're functioning from the ego. The ego is informed with what should I fit into rather than who am I? Who am I? Now I know who I am. Well, that is the problems.
Yeah.
You can't touch me on my studio, my dear. I know who I am on a spiritual level. So on a physical level, I do not want anything. I'm not out to. I am. It's done.
Yeah.
So when you get to that understanding, that's where you do your job as a healer. You do your job as a wellness ambassador. You do your job. The impact is not yours. The power of that impact is the gift that you have within you that says, I will do this with no resources. I will do this when I'm sick. I'll do this when I'm tired. I'll show up.
Yeah.
If that does not drive you, if impact is what drives you, if popularity is what drives you, if profit is what drives you, then it's not for you, babes, because this is not about stroking the ego. It's actually not. So we need to start realigning ourselves. Oh, honey, we are spiritual healers. We function on a different plane altogether. And then we are multi-gifted. So we have to function in different platforms. And I'm very unapologetic of myself right now because it's a journey, not a destination. I've said that. But at this point in my journey, I refuse to apologize for what I am as an African woman. I have multiplicity here. It is not just one identity. I am more than one thing embodied in one vessel. And I'm not going to apologize for it on any platform because that which governs me and allows me to shine the light where I must is greater than me. So it is the full submission. It is the full surrender. It is to say, God, let your will be done. And we will be crucified. We will be talked about. Big mouths. And big mouths. It will always be there. But I'm at a point where I understand the darkness that God is able to get me out of. And if that is anything to go by, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, nor can prosper, nor could prosper, nor would prosper, nor should prosper.
Yeah.
All I need to do is walk in my truth, and I've been doing that, and it's given me peace. Now, when you are a woman like me, let me give you some context. Where I grew up, I was born in exile to parents who were activists, in a tumultuous time. Then I was raised by a single parent. I've seen mob justice. I've been called a kafir. I've been minority in primary school, in nursery school. I've gone to high schools. I've gone through so much. Then you go through sexual abuse. Then you go through toxic relationships. Then you go into Batong, losing a child at 7 days in my arms, my home burning down, my marriage collapsing, being ostracized from my industry, something that I have worked my whole life to build. There is so much attack that has been upon me, and it was there for a reason.
Yeah.
Do you understand? The opinions of others. Somebody thinks I'm not pretty. Somebody is not on my life. These are not concerns. This is not trauma. This is nothing to be depressed about. It's called human nature. But when you have walked through the valley of the shadow of death, and you have been told when you screamed out, "Why have you forsaken me?" that fear no evil, for I am with you. And you sit there, you surrender to that voice, and it does deliver you out of that darkness. You move differently. You process information differently. And therefore, you use your voice differently. I do not surrender to insults, because please walk the path I have walked and overcome and come out of it looking like this.
Yes, girl.
Won't he do it?
Hey.
And then we can talk. Then you can insult me on a personal level.
Yeah.
But we have to own our journeys. And it starts with healing the self. We go back to that internal narrative or that internal conversation. Heal yourself first. Do not get lost in the commercial understanding of what healing is, which is heal others and then they will whoop whoop and come back to you. No, you have to heal yourself. And in healing yourself, how you carry yourself, how you express yourself, the choices that you make, the decisions that you make will be the testament that will inspire others to embark on the same journey. That's all.
Come on,
honey.
Okay, last thing, because we are on 12:30. I'm so proud.
We are, and we are done.
We are done. But last thing.
Yes.
You know how when we think of healing, we think also it's a lot of work, which it is. It is. I mean, I've gone to therapy. I've tried a few times, and each time I go, I'm like, But the last time I went, it changed my life. So we think healing and we think therapy. We think, oh, it's hard. Where do I start? But how would you, because you obviously are on this journey and you are a healer, but how would you advise someone, where do they start with the healing process? What do they do, and how do they learn to maintain that lifestyle and stay well?
So I'm going to need everybody to get a notebook. I'm going to be very practical about it. I'm not even going to be philosophical and romantic. Get a notebook, get a pen. Start with what you like about yourself, what you want to change about yourself. Start with what you like. What are you grateful for? And this could be your sight, your eyesight. It could be the fact that you still have your hearing. It could be the fact that your limbs are working. Do you understand? What is it that you are grateful for? What do you actually have that you are grateful for? Do you have shelter? Do you have food? Do you have family that's still alive? Do you have friends? Are you educated? Do you have a degree? This is not about focusing about the negative. It's about just what are you actually grateful for?
Yeah.
Sit down yourself in a very quiet space. I like to go out to nature vibes, or if you can't go to a nature space, go to your room, close the door, play some nice music, get yourself in a nice calm space. I like to light candles, I like incense, you know what I mean? Or if you want to be in the bathtub, anything that's just going to put you in a space of relaxation in the body so that you can open yourself up emotionally and mentally to gratitude, right? What are you grateful for? What is it that you're grateful for? And also bear in mind that you're doing this without judgment. So don't judge anything, don't compare anything, don't think about anyone else. This is not about what is happening in the world. It's strictly coming and checking in on self. What am I grateful for? What do I have that I can be grateful for? And then please note, as you go through, if you say, I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head, and you have a but, it's not as big, it's not a mansion, it's not a this, write that down. I would like a mansion. If you do have access to transportation, maybe the taxi route goes right past your house. Because girl, when I first moved to Joburg and the taxi was right by my house, I was like, hey, one day, private vehicle, it starts somewhere. Gratitude is everything. But if you're sitting there and you're like, I would like a car, write that down. Now, what you're going to do with the things that you feel you would like in the present moment and you do not have, you're going to go, how can I get that? You're going to go, how can I get that? Nah? What can I do right now where I'm at to get me to a point where I have that house, or I have that car, or I'm eating that kind of food, or I'm wearing those kinds of clothes? What can I do? And then you go back again. What do I have that I'm happy about? What don't I? It's a repeated cycle. Now, what you're going to do with this, you're going to sit with it for a matter of 3, 6, 9, and 12 months, and you're going to keep going back. You're going to set yourself goals from the smallest to the biggest goal. From the smallest to the biggest goal, and you're going to hold yourself accountable, because that is part of the journey. If you're not going to be realistic about what is hindering you, if you're saying, look, I don't have food in the fridge, but I have a fridge, and the reason why you don't have food is because you've been going out every day this week and you've spent all of your money on drinks and your friends, right? You have to sit down and be realistic about that. Then you have to say, okay, from next month, I'm not going out. I'm going to go and buy myself groceries. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to learn how to cook, or I'm going to learn new recipes, and I'm going to start doing nice things for myself. If you cannot take the time to be accountable, if you cannot take the time to be honest with yourself, if you cannot take the time to truly reflect, then this is not going to work for you. Then you're going to be stuck and you're going to still be blaming other people, because the power of wellness is about self-accountability. And it's about saying, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to set real intentions, I'm going to hold myself accountable to execute the goals that I've set for myself, and then I'm going to reflect back on my journey. Because what you will find when you're journaling is that you're going to see how far you've gone. You're going to also have, with time, after 3 months, you're going to look at how you talk about yourself. You're going to look at how you perceive the world. You're going to be able to compare whether it's the same, whether it's changed, whether you've regressed, whether you're more inspired. It's like having a relationship with yourself. So for me, when it came to my wellness journey, it was really about that. It was realizing that I'm never going to get the love that I want from anybody else outside of myself. I'm not going to get the security, consistency, stability, because at the end of the day, I'm literally just being shown who I am. I'm not being shown who someone else is. When I engage in a relationship with someone and they express themselves to me, that's when I engage with them. But anytime you say to someone, I wish you were more like this, what you're hearing is, this is who you are. And you are projecting yourself onto someone else. So instead of doing that, use those qualities to enhance yourself. So what do I then do? I make sure that I'm experiencing consistency, stability, the pampering, the whatever, to myself. I am the love of my life first, so that when I meet somebody else, I go, oh, you match my energy. It's that simple. It's not about I can teach you how to love me the way I don't even love myself, but hope to be loved. That's why that voice is so loud. So when you journal, you are able to meet that voice. You are able to really see yourself from an objective perspective. It's almost like getting yourself out of yourself and mirroring yourself and going, okay, where am I at fault? Because The moment that you continue to get stuck in the loop of looking externally, you disempower yourself. You disempower yourself. I had to sit down and say, I'm not happy. Everything is gone. What can I do? I can start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So some examples: hike, go out into nature, guys. Please, we are blacks and we are African. Stop this thing of, oh, is there a snake in the grass? How dare you? You know this is new money. We are new money. South Africa was in apartheid just the other day. Out your bougie. Go out to nature. Isolate. You have to spend time with yourself. 2 hours before you meet anyone else in your house, take time. So wake up earlier and sleep later than everybody else. You need to reflect. Check in with yourself in the mornings, check in with yourself in the evenings, and really start exploring yourself non-judgmentally. Listen to your intuition. If you're curious about something, go and learn about it. There might be something in there. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Spiritually, I've learned about things that are so far removed from my culture and my race. It's insane, but it spiritually helped me get closer to myself.
Yeah.
It helped me get a higher understanding of who I am and how to navigate this vessel according to culture and race and gender. Do you know what I mean? So I'm sitting here coming from a vantage point of privilege in that way. Allow yourself to learn yourself. Write down your thoughts, the good, the bad, the ugly. Reflect. Give yourself goals that you're going to be accountable for, and then go back, reflect back, and see yourself for who you are, so that you can just live your life properly, my chumi. We don't have to suffer.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, boo.
I was taking down notes of what you said. I'm going to do a little blog and I'm going to put the points down because maybe some people didn't have notes. And I'll share on my stories. But I also wanted to mention that on Sundays, I actually have a group where we meet. It's like we call ourselves goal getters. So every Sunday we meet, plan for the week, what are our goals, personal, work goals. And then it's also just having a bunch of people that hold you accountable but also support you. So if anyone wants to join, they can DM me, but it's also just a reminder that sometimes you do need, not sometimes, always, you always need support, and a lot of the times you can't do things alone. So don't feel like, okay, now Mona has given me this long list of things that I need to do and I don't know where to start. But you can always find someone to do it with. And if you need somebody, I'm here. Mona's there. She responds to all my DMs.
I said, start with yourself. Don't be coming and DMing me all day, honey. No, ma'am. She busy. She living a soft life now.
Hey,
go to God.
me.
Go to Jesus.
Come to me. I'm here.
Pray.
I'll help you.
No, but jokes aside, pray.
Yeah. True.
Because we're living in a time where there's a lot of spiritual healers who perpetuate to be the Messiah in the second coming. People are getting lost. I think it is important to be part of groups. It is lovely to get support, but when you know who you are getting that support, when you have that security and equilibrium. One of your questions, you said, what is wellness? Spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, financial. If you have these 5 factors and you sit down and you say, according to myself, spiritually, who am I? Because that's going to inform the choices mentally that you make, which will control your emotional landscape, which will decide physically the reality that you experience, and financially whether there's going to be blockages or overflow, right? So when one of these things are misaligned, you are not well. And the process of healing is about always finding alignment. Yes, you can't do all of them at once, but you can go from one to the next, like building blocks on top of each other, right? So we need to learn to go for alignment. Allow yourself to let the self dictate what is happening in these 5 factors of your life. But spiritually, start there. So it's almost like we go with the third eye, right? You go here. You say spiritual, which goes to the mind, right? And the head. This control should be with the neck, the direction that you are looking at. Whom are you kissing? What are the thoughts you are having? What are you looking at?
Yeah.
And that comes to the heart emotionally. This will inform how you feel about your existence, how you feel about other people, and you listen to the heart, right? Because the heart and the mind are connected to the spirit. And physically, you cannot be in conflict with yourself and think that your heart, mind, and spirit will not let you know what time it is. And
Yeah.
financially, we don't have time to be poor no more. Okay? Sometimes we are here with crutches, alcohol, or buying expensive things, or doing that. We are escaping here to overcompensate for being misaligned here. So I always say start with your spiritual identity and define it well, because that will then control what you see, what you hear, what is spoken or what is said. And you will always then be in alignment with yourself emotionally, which will give you a better physical and financial experience. You know? So that is what wellness is all about. Let's start there. And when we start there, then we can join groups and bring value. Because what's also problematic is that we're coming with all of our pain and our hurt and our unresolved trauma. And then we want to use Kwesi's solution. And then, but we haven't gone and checked in. We need to start checking in, guys.
Yeah.
We need to go to the self.
Yeah.
That is where the answers lie.
100%.
You know, God said, I've made you in my image. Go to the God within. Go hear who you are before you were formed in the mother's womb, which means before your generational curses, which means before your religion, before your culture, before your race.
Yeah.
There was a spirit that was undefined in the physical. Who are you? And allow yourself to express that fully. I am where I am, from a girl born in exile, my darling, to today. Come on now, I beg. Look at me well. Look at me
That's
well.
true.
Start in the
And
spirit, pray
yeah,
before you go and connect.
I like that you said that, because if you don't know who you are, Kwezi is gonna say it's green and you're happy go green. Mona says it's blue, then tomorrow it's blue. So 100%. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This was amazing. I feel like there's a lot more that we can talk about.
There's so much, but I have
so
to go.
next round. So remember next round. Thank you so much. Have an amazing rest of your day, and thank you to everyone.
Oh, I do want to say that power sessions will be coming back. Please, 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 please. I will still be in communications. It's just been crazy with the acting work. First, there were some stories God needed me to tell. You know, hopefully I will be able to share those films with you. But please, 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 I will still, on my page, mona.monyane, I will share all details when tickets go up and all of that. I'm looking forward to meeting all you ladies, taking it to the next level.
Yeah.
But yes, prioritize yourself, my friend, because in you is a multiplication of God, and the God within you requires your submission, honey. Before you can love someone else, first love thyself, the God within you. Love that. And I promise you, your cup will overflow and you will be able to impact more people rather than you trying to hold on to that last drop, Chomi, in your king cup. Whoa! Never! Chomi, come glow.
Yeah. True.
Could never be me.
Thank
Quizzy,
you.
I love you. Bye.
Love you. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Have a nice day.